What a declaration. And we're going to talk about that here on Coffee with Ken. Thanks for joining us. I am Dr. April Brown. I am Executive Vice President of Coaching here at Destiny Global. And we are with Ken Brown, CEO.
Good morning.
And we have Butch McCracken, General
In the
Manager.
house.
Yes, here at Destiny Global. And we want to welcome you and thank you for joining us today. And we're talking about that, about competition and winning. And we all have different we have different personalities, and we have different backgrounds and how we respond to competition and to winning. And so we have probably the most competitive person I have ever met in my entire life sitting right here.
I'm not competitive. I just win.
He's also very humble.
He's very
Very
humble
humble.
about it.
Thank
And
you.
it's great to play games with him because, you know, he's taunting the whole entire time. Like
I'm encouraging.
I don't know if that's the word I'd call it, but no. But you do like to win.
I do, but sometimes winning, you can end up losing, right?
Ooh.
Because in the process, you offend other people.
Mhm.
And so that has caused me, since becoming an active member of our Destiny Global community, is to really recognize those around you, and especially you and our family, and collaborating more in the competition and bringing people with me to win with me, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
and different personalities because I mean, I don't feel like I'm a natural like competitive person, but just being raised with two brothers, older brothers, and I mean we were like my family was competitive, and you
Super
just felt like
competitive.
you had to like be a part of that team and be a part of the family, and so like and then how do you
Right.
become that person and
Yeah,
then
these
getting in
were
sports and all that stuff
yes.
because my brothers were so much into sports, and so getting into sports, and I wasn't naturally an athlete, but I
Yeah.
would go out there with the best of them and practice myself every single day,
You did.
throw against a tree by myself, spot on to become pitcher, and ended up becoming pitcher because I was just that determination. So it didn't come naturally for me, but it's something that I probably picked up from just being in
Right.
a family of very competitive people, and we have had that kind of dynamic
Yes, we have.
of really learning to appreciate that more and more about you because I do like we just did this whole biggest transformation, and part of that was on this season that was somebody would be a winner of
Yes.
the
And
biggest
Carmen told us somebody was going to be a
transformation.
winner, and
And who did that?
well, I did.
The
And
stuttering is part of an act. Okay.
like he's
I
very
did.
proud of it. He's like, I won.
I did.
And but you're like what I like about because there is a difference about like and that's fine. Like people can talk and stuff, but you just like did it, and people even commented on like the silent. Like just do the work. You don't
Yeah.
just like sit there and talk about it. Like you do the work. It's like okay, I'm gonna win at this, and I'm gonna do the work.
Right. Well, that
So
comes.
confession to the group.
Yes.
Okay. Behind the scenes, he would come in and go, "I'm winning this." So I don't know what he did on those calls. Okay. But he was,
The
"I'm
truth
winning."
comes out now.
So just FYI, want to put that out there. Yes, it was grit and determination, but the first thing was, "I'm winning." Anyway,
but
go ahead.
to the actual people he's competing with, which I think is just like just do the thing, like just go and
Well,
Mhm.
that's what it is just do your things, but that's really the environment that I was raised in. EDS was an up or out company. You got better at what you did over time, and it's one of the things someone had asked me the other day. Was your work environment competitive? And I go, no, you were just either going to improve or you were going to be out. And it was kind of a known, right? The program that I went through, if you weren't successful, you didn't hit certain criteria, you were fired. I mean, it was real easy. It was the biggest loser, meaning if you didn't finish, you were out. And so you come to appreciate a level of professionalism that did not exist. In fact, when you go on alumni things with EDS and you look at it, you see this whole group that really bonded around excellence. And I've learned to appreciate the difference between competitive and excellent. And excellent is wanting to help other people do what you're doing. And competitive, just to beat somebody else, just to do something, is actually a really low form of leadership and not helping other people complete what they're doing. And that's what I actually really enjoyed about the biggest transformation is actually being, and yes, Jerry pushed me, and I'm sure, Jerry, you may want to watch this episode, but he really did push and he motivated, and I really worked to push and motivate him. In fact, Jerry is now under Coach Carmen's leadership. Jerry is in the finals. I had chosen not to enter this year, but to go next year, and now I've learned that there's not going to be a next year. So I'm all in for you, Jerry. Go, yes, if that's true. But Jerry, win that thing, as well as Aisha's in the finals. So Carmen has 2 finalists.
Yeah.
Out of
it's
tens of thousands of people again. But anyway, that goes back to this group epitomizes, even though we were competing, the real thing is every one of us won because we improved our health along the path. And the same thing is at a company or wherever you're at, is to use a competitive nature in a healthy way, not in an unhealthy way, which in the former version of Ken, in the triple chin Ken, that could be the case because it was just somebody said they're going to do something and I was like, well, I can do that better. And then just go do it. Now then, that is part of a skill and a learning that you can do, but it can also be a very arrogant thing. And sometimes you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So with things like that where somebody has kind of run over or, and I don't know if I
It
use
is
that
run over. It can be.
someone has felt run over or, and we have to own our own
Yes.
feelings in that.
Correct.
Like we've chosen to feel run over because we can set boundaries, we can do things, but like how do people deal with that? First, the one that has been the competitive person, and then the person that has felt like run over in those situations.
Well, if you're doing it over and over again, and we had some of this even in the biggest transformation, if you're doing that over and over again to people, they can feel it's not competitive, but they can feel like you're a bully. And you can really, it can cause trauma in people, right? Because they'll never feel like they're ever going to equal this higher plane or whatever it is. And some people they'll use that to determination to come back and beat you. And 50 years later, you'll see somebody and it's like, I'm better than you, whatever. So done correctly, you realize when you've hurt someone and you realize it's within your power, then you go back and you reconcile with that person, just like I've had to do with you on more than one occasion, right?
Yeah.
In competitive environments, and sometimes you can get caught up in the moment trying to do something, and you're not realizing that you're causing someone else pain in the process of doing it. So it's learning to be an encourager, because if you're encouraging someone else to do something, it actually takes, while there can still be a competition, it changes the motivation behind it. And motivation is everything, because you want to see the other person,
motivate people.
right? Sometimes they may not be able to lift as much as me, or they may not be able to do this or hit the golf ball as far, or whatever. But the reality of it is they need to compete within themselves. So if you took yourself and you could lift 20 and now you can do 40, that is a win.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are, or whether losing weight, and it's
really
celebrating
looking
the
at the
wins with the
wins.
other people. And that's where you're at. And use, what I've learned to do is use other rubies to push me in areas where I necessarily.
Personalities that are
Right.
very competitive. And
Right.
what are some steps that I think you probably dealt with this a time or two with? You have some personalities in your family that can be competitive. So
He's got a powerful wife and children that are full of energy, and he's got sapphires and emeralds, and
What
You
is
know, you-
something that you have like found that's really helped you to overcome some feelings that can?
So the competitive in all men, I believe we were saying earlier,
Mhm.
there's a competitive side. So even with my personality, which isn't fully competitive like Mr. Brown,
Mm-hmm.
it there's still a side that is competitive. So
Mm-hmm.
when I come up against those things and I don't win, I look at it as that's okay. Their excitement that they get to
Mhm.
enjoy, it's important to them to win
Mhm.
for the reasons you expressed or whatever it may be. Um, because sometimes I look at things and I think the best example is, and apply it even as adults, is, and it's not an excuse because you lost, but is with children, you let them win and you see their excitement. To me, I love seeing the excitement when a kid wins at something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as an adult, you back off to encourage them to continue to press into things and to go for what you want. And the same thing works for an adult too. Like when you
Yeah.
go into a situation, whatever it may be, is it more valuable to let them win?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know you could
Mm.
easily
Yeah.
win that, but is it going to benefit that other person,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Let them have a moment of glory
Yeah.
because you know the
Mhm.
encouragement that it's going to give
Mhm.
to them.
What
So,
I hear is like really being humble.
Yeah.
Like just really having a spirit of humility
yeah.
Yes.
with others, and I have really learned how much humility that we need with forgiveness, because
Yeah.
I keep like us talking about this week.
So true.
Our feelings can get really intertwined with those
Yeah.
things, and we can get really revved up about it and have so many different feelings against that person, just in
Mhm.
a competitive spirit, and just really acknowledging hurts and things, and really being sure that we're forgiving of others with that humbleness.
It takes
going
effort
in.
to do that.
It really does.
a
It takes
conscious
being
effort.
intentional.
It's not natural to
Y-
just
It's not.
Mhm.
be a humble person.
Yeah.
Just
Mhm.
you're always needing to work
Mhm.
at that.
That's why it's always good to be getting those skills. And
Yeah.
one of the most important way, and we do this every single event, we work on forgiveness,
Yep.
and also understanding different personalities is so important in that. To understand that that is a person's personality, that it can be very competitive, one that might not be very competitive and can feel, like you said, run over, or whatever those feelings are.
Mhm.
That just being aware
Yeah.
and knowing differences in personalities and really having such clarity about that is
Yes.
so important. And so that's why I think it's continually important, because it's so intentional. It's
Yeah.
not something that comes natural.
No.
So that's why we have this training. And it has completely changed our life, how we interact as husband and wife, and our personalities completely opposite. And so we would love to invite you to come to our next event is in April. It's April 14th or 16th
That's right.
in Dallas.
Dallas,
Step
Texas.
to success.
That's right.
We want you to be there so that you can. We're in March and then April, and sometimes we lose our idea of that January. We're like going, we're
Yeah.
going,
Gung ho.
Mhm.
we're on our goals and all this stuff. But hey, what about March? What about April?
You need to
And
step into it
knowing
right now, or the
Step
year can get
into it.
away from you.
Yes. So
And
we
this
want,
event's going to be so powerful.
it is. It
It
really
is,
I'm
you know,
excited.
and we've all been working on this,
Mhm.
and you know, it's just going to be
So, yeah.
fantastic.
So we information is below. So click the link and get your
Yes.
ticket, and all of the information is there also about getting your
Your
room
rooms,
blocked,
everything like that.
because
Great
it's
hotel.
a very nice
Mm.
hotel. You will
Yes.
not want to miss out
Yes.
on that. So anyway, we're gonna be winning. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be winning.
That's right.
So we want you there too, and winning as well. So thanks for joining us here on Coffee with Ken. See you next time.
Have a great day.
See ya.